Right, hello Year 3. So for this week I'm going to make a video for each maths lesson to go alongside the presentation on the website. So the idea is that you can watch the video and then go through the presentation, and hopefully that will help with any tricky words or different things that you find tricky in the presentation. If you've got any questions afterwards or there was something you found really tricky, just email me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, if there's a bit of a wait, it is because we're also looking after the children still at school. Anyway, so today, which is the 6th session in the length and perimeter unit, so looking at lengths and perimeter, we're going to finish looking at lengths. So this is the 6th lesson in that sequence of work. So to start with, for today, we're going to look at comparing lengths. So there's some key vocabulary to look at first. The first word is compare, and that means looking at things and seeing how are they different and how are they similar. Okay? And the second word is equivalent. If you look at the word equivalent, there are, this bit here, look, equi, that means the same, like in the word equals. So equivalent means things that are the same. So equivalent lengths are lengths that are the same as each other, often in different units. So if we look at our key facts, 10 millimetres is equivalent, is the same as 1 centimetre, and 100 centimetres is equivalent, the same as 1 metre. Now, to do today's lesson, to compare lengths, first, we need to be able to convert millimetres into centimetres and centimetres into millimetres and centimetres into metres and metres into centimetres. There are some practice questions, just to recap that, at the start of the presentation, but if you can't remember how to do it or missed last week's lesson for whatever reason, just email me and I'll send you last week's lesson, because I will be taking it down off the website to put this week's up. So, just going to look at one of the things on the practice questions. And one of the practice questions has something on it called a part, oh that pen doesn't work, called a part-whole model. Now, adults at home, you may know what these are, but you might not have done these at school. So, and we in class 2 might have forgotten. So a part-whole model is something that looks like this. It could also be that way round, upside down, it can be any which way up, and it also might have multiple circles coming out of this one. And the idea is that the one that the others are coming out of is the whole, that's the whole, and these bits coming out of it are the parts. So it's a way of looking at how numbers can be split into parts. And your models will have, for example, 58 millimetres is the whole, and we want to split it into its parts. So we want to split it into the centimetre part and the millimetre part. So if I look at 58 millimetres, I know that 10 millimetres equals 1 centimetre. So 50 millimetres equal, which is times 5 times that. So in centimetres, I'm going to have to times that again by 5. 1 times 5 is 5. So 10 millimetres is 1 centimetre. 50 millimetres is 5 centimetres. So 5 centimetres, and then I've got 8 more millimetres. So 58 millimetres, 5 centimetres, and 8 millimetres is how I would fill in that part-whole model. So just wanted to go through that one. So when we come to today's lesson, first thing we're going to do is compare lengths, and then we're going to order them. But it might be that before we can do that, we need to convert them, hence the practice questions at the start. So if we look at this question, it says 3 children measure their height. Cheng, he measures his height as 1 metre 41 centimetres. Grace measures her height as 138 centimetres. And Oliver measures his height at 120 centimetres. And then there's some questions about it. And question A says, who is the tallest? Now, looking at these, that's a bit tricky because they're not all in the same unit. And the unit is millimetres, centimetres, metres, so how is it measured? They've not all been measured with the same unit. So first thing we need to do is convert some of the measurements so they are all in the same unit. Now, both Grace and Oliver measured in centimetres. So I'm going to convert Cheng's measurement into centimetres. Now, 1 metre, 41 centimetres. Now I know 1 metre is 100 centimetres. That's 141 more. 141 centimetres, which I have written here. So Cheng, his height is 141 centimetres. Grace, 138. I'm just going to write those here because it's not very clear, I don't think, on the camera. 138 centimetres. And then Oliver, I can squeeze him in, but 120. I'm just about to put it in centimetres. So A, who is the tallest? So in my book I would write A, a bracket, because that in maths is not a dot, it is a decimal point. So we do a bracket in maths. A, bracket, who is the tallest? So let's look at these measurements. Look, that's the highest number. So, and that was Cheng's height. So, Cheng is the tallest, would be what I would write in my maths book. Making sure I have a capital letter and a full stop. Okay, Cheng is the tallest, capital letter, full stop. Lovely. Then move on to B. So I would have B. Make sure I fit all board in. B. So who is the shortest? So looking at these heights, which is the shortest measurement? Oliver. So Oliver is the shortest. Making sure I have a capital letter and then a full stop for my sentence. Oliver is the shortest. So I've done B. Now I need to do question C. So C, bracket. Who is taller than Oliver? Well, Oliver was the shortest. So Grace and Cheng are taller than Oliver because he was the shortest. So Grace and Cheng are taller than Oliver. Making sure my sentence is a capital letter and a full stop, and all the names have a capital letter because they're proper nouns. They need a capital letter. Right, so that's that question done. So, if you go on the presentation and go through it, I will go through that example in the presentation as well, and then there's one of your own to try as well. So, the next thing we need to do to make sure we can definitely compare different lengths is we need to be able to order them. So that might be like in this question here, which is shortest to longest, or it might be longest to shortest. And just to recap the big words, shortest to longest is ascending. So if you picture a plane going up, it's ascending. It starts low, gets higher. Ascending. Descending. D for down, D for descending. A descending plane is going down. It starts high and gets lower. So longest to shortest would be descending. shortest to longest ascending order. But this one's been really kind and has just said shortest to longest, so that's easy. So, in this question, order these measurements from shortest to longest. So I've got 15 centimetres. I'm not sure how easy these are to read on the video, so I will just write them here to make sure they're really clear. 15 centimetres, 37 millimetres, 2 metres, and 1 metre and 26 centimetres. So again, they're not all in the same units. So the first thing we need to do is to convert them all into the same units. Now we've done millimetres into centimetres and metres into centimetres, so I'm going to convert them all into centimetres. So 15 centimetres, it's already in centimetres, don't need to do anything with it. 37 millimetres, well I know that that goes to 3 centimetres and 7 more millimetres. 2 metres, I know 1 metre is 100 metres, so if I have 2 100 metres, 2 metres, that would be 200 centimetres. And then I've got 1 metre and 26 centimetres. Now I know that 1 metre is 100 centimetres, so 126 more, 126 centimetres. So they are now all in centimetres. So shortest to longest. Now 3 centimetres and 7 millimetres is the shortest here. So that was 3 centimetres, 7 millimetres. Next, next. Oh, which one's next? That one. 15 centimetres. Next would be 126 centimetres. And next would be 200 centimetres. So they are now in order, shortest to longest, like they asked for. But they're not quite the measurements they gave me in the first place. So I now need to put them back into these measurements because it asked me to sort these ones in these units. So I need to put them back in that order. So 3 centimetres and 7 millimetres. That one was 37 millimetres. 15 centimetres, oh, that was already in centimetres, so I can keep that one. 126 centimetres, that one was in the form of 1 metre, 26 centimetres. And 200 centimetres, that one was in the form of 2 metres. So that would be my final answer for that one. And if you go on the presentation on the website, again, I go through this example and then there are some of your own to try as well. So I hope that makes sense. And like I said earlier, if you have any questions, do email me and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Mrs. K, I believe, has sent a letter out by email with all of our staff email addresses on it if you need us. Okay, so let me know how you're doing and I will do another video for tomorrow.